So again, everyone, welcome to the Mastermind Book Club. It's exciting time. We just finished a marvelous audiobook, which is Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. Wow, what a powerful book. I had to listen to it 2.5 times. 2.5 times. I don't think it's enough, believe it or not. As I've learned from Reggie, who likes to listen to specific books regularly, I do the same. So I agree with his sentiments. And sometimes you're not expecting it to hear from other people, but when you hear it, it's like, wow, I'm not alone. Sometimes you feel like you're the only one who's a little bit out of whack, but it's a good thing to be able to listen to a book and to learn from it. This book is very, very powerful, and I want to keep it very brief because there's a lot of information, but all I ask you is try and learn one or up to 3 things, all right? So let's go to page, whoops, see, well, I'm not too good with this. So nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. That's what this book is about, failing forward. If you're not taking risks, if you're not failing, then it's not worthwhile. So it could be a relationship, it could be business, it could be an entrepreneurship, it could be selling something, whatever it may be. If you're not taking a risk and if you're not failing, it's not worth it. Embrace adversity. Here are 8 reasons why you should embrace adversity. It creates resilience. Whoops, my spelling there is way off. Resilience. Resilience. So I just want to go through these very quickly. Where's number 8? Number 2, develops maturity. Develops maturity. So resilience, meaning that the more that you embrace adversity, the more you're willing to pursue it. Because first time around, you might be inclined to give up quickly. And unless someone tells
Hi,
you,
David.
Hey, how are you, Martha?
Okay, I'm going to try to get it. I see.
Hi. So we're going over the review of this book. So at 2, we're up to number 2, develops maturity. So we're not going to get it right the first time is what it actually means. When we have these complicated issues that come up in life, these challenges, these, I would say they are immediately seen as a problem, but a problem that will have a solution within time and will lead to a better opportunity. Is that right or is that wrong?
That's all right.
Good, 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 good. So number 3, it pushes the envelope of accepted performance. So sometimes we are just expected to do a certain amount of work and we get by it. But when we push beyond those limits, magical things start to happen. And I know that each one of you has experienced it one way or another, whether you've noticed it or not. Adversity, number 4, adversity provides, oops, let me just mute here just in case if you need to speak. If you need to unmute yourself to speak, you can do that. Number 4, adversity provides greater opportunities. Yes, it does. Number 5, prompts innovation. 6, brings unexpected benefits. 7, adversity motivates. Look for positive influences. So it creates resilience, develops maturity, pushes the envelope of accepted performance, provides greater opportunities, prompts innovation, brings unexpected benefits, motivates. Look for positive influences. Now, in the stories, the religious stories, Joseph of the Hebrews. Now, I don't remember whose son he was. I believe he was Jacob's son, one of the 12 or 13 children that he had, I believe, or 17 children. So Joseph was the youngest. His father loved him the most, and his brothers hated him for that because Joseph would tattletale and so on. So Joseph was alienated by his brothers. He was sold into slavery. And when he was sold into slavery, he met this couple and they took him in. The woman wanted him to sleep with him. And because Joseph said no, the woman falsely accused him of making advances. So the husband put him in jail. Now, as crazy as this may sound, I went through something similar. My best friend had married. I had been away. I came back. He was with his wife, and his wife I told his wife, wow, that dress looks amazing. And just because I said that, his wife told my friend that I was making advances. It was terrible. But that was the last that we were that close of friends. That happens for a reason or another. And I know that it's all for the better, because whatever has happened, has come about, I know bigger and better things have come about. So Joseph, while in prison, because this story is not about me, Joseph met an official, and who had a dream, and Joseph said he could interpret his dream. So Joseph told him, I'll interpret your dream as long as you're willing to release me. And obviously the official said, yes, yes, he will release him. Well, 2 years later, after the official got released, he completely had forgotten, or whatever had happened. The Pharaoh needed an interpreting of his own dream. So this official told him, I know who can interpret that dream. And Joseph was released, and he interpreted the Pharaoh's dream, and now Joseph became in charge of the entire kingdom. I'm guessing it was the kingdom of I don't know. I don't know which kingdom it was. I don't remember. If anyone knows, you'd like to unmute yourself, you can say it. If not, we'll just keep going right along. But you know what I'm trying to say here.
It was Joseph.
Egypt.
It was Egypt.
Thank you.
David.
Thank you, Charles. Egypt. So he was put in charge of Egypt, and Joseph had a dream, a vision, that there would be a famine coming to that part of the region or the world, and he was told to collect food, and he collected much food, plenty of supply. He was even told, is he crazy to collect so much food? Nonsense. Well, sooner or later, his brothers and family members needed food, and they wanted to go and ask the Egyptians to give him food, because they heard that they had food, excess food. So when they got there and met the king, his brothers didn't know who he was, but they said, leader, can we get some food from you? So Joseph recognizes who they are and says, you intended to have me killed, but God intended me to save many lives. Isn't that unbelievable? His brothers wanted him killed, but God had bigger plans, wanted Joseph to save many lives. That's so amazing. That's how you put this number 7, adversity. Adversity should motivate you. Yes, you might go through rough times. Yes, you might have to go to prison for being falsely accused or something similar, as Viktor Frankl had experienced during the Nazi concentration camps. So this can happen, and all I can say is I have not been through it, but now that I've learned so much in reference to this, try and find a positive in everything that you do, because the worst thing you can do is let fear take over you. Traps. So there are different kinds of traps. There are 6 of them. Number 1, the embarrassment trap. Obviously, you might feel embarrassed when you make an error, when you don't make a possible attempt in achieving success. The paternalization trap. Being right all the time. Having the right attitude in everything, and all of a sudden being embarrassed because you're wrong. Unrealistic expectation trap. It's either effort or hard work, or effort and hard work. If you do not have a real expectation of where you want to go, then you have an unrealistic expectation, meaning you're just doing whatever your boss expects you to do, and that's it. If that's all you're doing, and that's all you're going to amount to in life. So either you put in the effort and the hard work, or you're just going to remain unrealistic. Number 4, fairness trap. Life's not fair. That's what we all say. We all say life's not fair, but we need to look inside and learn, what else could this mean? I've repeated this before, and I know you've heard it before from other people. Always ask yourself, what else could this mean? What else could this mean? When my daughter was born, I asked myself, what else could this mean? This moment that we had to see her go through a loss of oxygen to her brain. Number 5, timing trap. The perfect time. It can come about, but it's so limited. So I know that you've heard of people telling you, oh, you missed the perfect time. Well, it'll come about again. Nonsense. Take advantage of the time when it's in front of you, not the second time around. Second time around, we don't know if it's going to come around. All right, so take the opportunity when it comes. Say yes. It might be difficult. You might be in risk of losing whatever, monetary amounts or family or friends, but you've got to take the risk. Number 6, inspiration trap. An amateur writes when he feels like it versus a professional writes regardless. Now, some of you were in my book club, which I only had for like 2 weeks or 10 days. So if any of you is interested in writing, this is what you should consider. Your inspiration trap. Are you an amateur and writing when you feel like it? Or are you a professional and writing regardless of how you feel? It takes time to develop being a professional. It's not overnight. However, you can do it. You are not alone. Don't fall into that trap if that's where you intend to head. Failing forward requires learning a change in behavior. Whoops. People change when they hurt enough. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that is the truth. People change when they hurt enough that they have to. People change when they learn enough that they want to. If you learn about change, then you'll want to change. People change when they receive enough that they are able to change. Receiving enough pain, receiving enough obstacles, receiving enough pressure, receiving enough depression, receiving enough that you feel like you want to quit, you want to fail, you want to commit suicide. This is when people have their most amazing experience. So don't ever give up. Always look for another opportunity. Seek for answers where you cannot simply see them yourself, because someone will be able to guide you and assist you eventually, or some book, or there is always more than one way to get around things. Find purpose. If we don't find a purpose in whatever we're doing, what are we doing? Are we just living to live, or are we living because we have a purpose? Our why. What is your why to live? The upcoming book. Eliminate excuses. Everyone has an excuse. We always complain. I complain plenty of times, and I'm starting to realize that complaining is the easiest way to get things done, but not the best, not the most strategic way. So I'm starting to control my tongue more and more and more, because our tongue gets us more into trouble than we'd like it to. Eliminate excuses. We all have excuses, right? Develop incentives. What is your incentive to go on, to build a business, to realize a dream, your passion, whatever it may be? Number 4, cultivate determination. Always feel determined to do something, why you must do it. Always have your why. These are all relating to your why, to your purpose statement. Sorry, gotta have my tea here. Didn't have it beforehand. Top reasons why people fail. So before I go on, I just want to make sure, anyone have any questions? You can unmute yourself if you have any questions. So I'm trying to get through this pretty quickly, but I'd like to leave you with as much information as possible. I see Dequan here put something in the chat. LOL, so true, desperation. Yes, a lot of us live on desperation and we forget. So top reasons why people fail. Poor people skills. Are you disconnected from the rest of the community? We're all disconnected right now, meaning face-to-face, but we've got communication through social media. Connect with people. Send a message. Call someone. Call your parents. Call your kids. Call someone out there. Someone you don't know might need to hear from you. Negative attitude. This is why a lot of people fail. 2 men looked outside through prison bars, and guess what? One saw mud and the other one saw the stars. You can have a negative attitude, you can always see mud, or you can always see the stars. Isn't that amazing and powerful? Reggie, isn't this a great quote for us? I guess Reggie can't talk, but we'll get him. Isn't that a great quote for us, for a morning quote? Two men looked outside through prison bars. One saw mud, the other saw stars.
That's right on.
Right on, right? So this is in the book. I don't know if anyone caught this, but I caught this and I was like, this is powerful. Number 3, bad fit. This is why people fail, because they're stuck in whatever it is that they're doing and they don't want to keep going. The longer you're there, you're stuck, you're not evaluating the situation. What are you waiting for? Stop being stuck in the situation that you're in. Stop making excuses. I take risks. I'm ready to make another risk, almost a 5-digit risk, taking another course. Why? Because I want to be able to train and educate people. I want to inspire people so that they can live whatever they're inspired to do, to reach their passions, so that we can change the world together. That's what I want to do, and I'm ready to take a risk to invest more money in myself so that I can provide this to others. Now, I don't know if you think I'm crazy, but I don't want any of you to fail, and that's why I'm here, to make sure that you succeed along with me so that we can change the world together. Is that crazy? Maybe it is. Number 4, why people fail? Because of a lack of focus. You want something, but then you're confused and you look elsewhere and say, but I've got to do this, but I've got to do that. You've got to focus on your ultimate goals. Don't focus on that you have to do your 9 to 5 and that's it, unless that's it for you. I mean, we're all different. After all, 90 to 99% of the people will have a lack of focus. This is based on Pareto's rule, but it's supposed to be the 80-20, but it's closer to 90-10 at least, if not less than that. Number 5, weak commitment. When was the last time you failed? Did you fail because you stopped trying? Or did you stop trying because you failed? These are the reasons why people fail. One more, number 6, unwillingness to change. Love. Are you in love with the past? Are you resisting change? Are you accepting the present? Or are you resisting success? I know this sounds a little bit crazy, but this is one of the top reasons why people fail, because they're unwilling to change. They're in love with their past. They resist change. They do not accept the present. They resist success. This is how John Maxwell explains it, and it is really powerful. This is a very powerful book. Shortcut mindset, meaning you're cutting corners all the time. Yes, we all want to cut corners. We all want to achieve success, but it takes time. People want to become millionaires overnight in my stock market course. They want to know how they can make $1 million overnight. Well, in order to make $1 million, you've got to make $50 to $100 repetitively, so that you can make $1,000 repetitively, so that you can make $10,000 repetitively, so that you can make $100,000 repetitively, and then you can get to millions repetitively. That's the way it works. There's no other way around it. That's the way I'm doing it. And as I explain it to people in my trading classes, in my live videos and recordings, that's the way I'm doing it. I used to make 50, hundreds. Now I still make 50 and hundreds, but sometimes I get lucky and I make 30,000, 50,000. Do I have it all there? No, I don't have it all there yet, but that's how I'm doing it. All right. Top reasons why people fail. So number 8, relying on talent alone. You've got to work. You've got to put in the work. The talent alone is not going to do it. I have people I talk to one-on-one who tell me, oh, they have the talent, and I know they have the talent, but you've got to put in the work. People won't see you unless you put in the work, because you won't get recognized just for having the talent alone. Acting on poor information. Oh, another thing on number 8, talent alone. Those who rely on talent alone only become a one-hit wonder. You never hear from them again. That's it. I don't want to be known like that. And I'm certain, do you want to be known like that? Most people don't want to be known like that. Number 9, why people fail, acting on poor information. Make sure you have your sources correct. Learn, educate, grow, evolve, and transform. That's all I can tell you in reference to why people fail, because they have a lack of doing these 4 steps. Learn, change, transform, evolve. Evolve, transform. Number 10, not having goals. That's why people fail. Do you have your goals right? Have you written them down? Do you not know what you want, what you desire? The chapters in Failing Forward, these are the chapters, and this is very quickly, because they're powerful titles. I'd like to go over them. Number 1, realize there is only one major difference between average and achieving people. What is that difference? You failing. That's the difference. Learn new definition of failure. Number 2, learn a new definition of failure. Right? Every time you fail, it gets you that closer to your goals. You're 2 millimeters away from reaching your goals. Number 3, remove the you from failure. You are not the failure. You never were the failure. Failure was meant to challenge you, to get you straight, to slap you in the face, and to get you going in the right path. Take action and reduce your fear. Some of us have fear. Some of us are afraid to take action, but we've got to do it in order to experience success eventually. As a matter of fact, experiencing total success, I don't know, but on the path to success it sounds much better. As millionaires say, are asked, don't you have so much money already? Well, a little bit more doesn't hurt. That's the same attitude we all need to take, right? A little bit more doesn't hurt. Number 5, change your response to failure by accepting your responsibility. Chapter 6, don't let failure from outside get inside of you. We always experience failure from outside, but don't let it get inside of us. Don't let it overcome us. Number 7, chapter 7, goodbye to yesterday. Say goodbye to yesterday. Now, chapter 8, change yourself and your world changes. That is powerful. Number 9, get yourself and start giving of yourself. Chapter 10, find a benefit in every bad experience. There's always a benefit. Look at Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. Powerful, powerful. Chapter 11, take risks. Amelia Earhart, who flew a plane. She was about 7,000 miles from flying all over the world, or just had that much to go, and her co-pilot lost. But you know what? I know that they're in a bigger and better place because they were pioneers. They were not afraid to take risks when planes were just were starting out. She is a leader. She is a pioneer. She is one of those who we need to model, is take risks. We might fail, but experiencing regret in our lifetime is much worse. The probability of dying. This is going to be one of my talks tomorrow morning. So I thought I'd give you this hint into taking risks. Probability of dying. Did you know that 20% of people die in automobile accidents? But 16% of people die in air, rail, and water. 15% of people die from walking. However, 17% of the people die at home. So what's the probability of you dying? There's always probability. Take risks. Don't be afraid. Life is going to happen, whether you take a risk or not. So enjoy it. Don't just settle for less. If at first you do succeed, try something harder. That's what John Maxwell says. Not the opposite. If you do succeed, you try something harder, because if you're succeeding, it's not challenging enough. Chapter 12, learn from a bad experience and make it a good experience. Chapter 13, work on the weakness that weakens you. Chapter 14, understand there is not much difference between failure and success. And chapter 15, get up, get over it, and get going. Now, this is the last part of the book, right here. The last part of the book is forward, the acronym for forward. Finalize your goal, F. If you finalize your goal, you'll have better plans, as O stands for. Order your plans. As I've told you in one of the books before, those who have 13 to 16 moves are a champion, master chess player. So have your moves ready. Review them, revise them. I'm ready to revise my moves because I've had them written down, I've reviewed them before, and I'm ready to sharpen them even more. R, risk failing by taking action. Take risks. If you don't take a risk, you're still going to die. I'm going to die. You're going to die. Is there a safe way to get out of this world? Absolutely not. We're all going to die. And I just gave you the biggest example. Welcome mistakes. W. Welcome mistakes. If you're not welcoming mistakes, then you're afraid to make mistakes. Advance based on your character. A. Advance based on your character. If you're not advancing, then your character is in peril. Reevaluate your progress continually. R. Reevaluate your progress continually. You should always be progressing. Ask yourself at the end of the day, as Ben Franklin does, what good did I do today? And ask yourself in the morning, what good can I do today? Very simple questions. Have I done any good today? I hope you have. D, develop strategies to succeed. Is that a simple plan? You bet it's a simple plan. Remember the word, forward, the acronym. Finalize your goal, order your plan, risk failing by taking action, welcome mistakes, advance based on your character, reevaluate your progress continually, develop strategies to succeed. And finally, a goal needs a plan. A plan takes action. Action achieves success. A goal needs a plan takes action. Action achieves success. A goal needs a plan takes action. Action achieves success. This is it for our review of Failing Forward, a very, very powerful book. As I keep reading and listening to these audiobooks, I find myself in book heaven because I'm developing those emergency 10 books that I would take anywhere if I needed to, and this is one of those books. John Maxwell has hit it on the buzzer. We need to fail forward. And if we're not failing forward, what are we doing? I'd like to open up all the mics, so if none of you wants to become unmuted, just mute yourself again. But I'd like to welcome anyone to say anything that they've learned about this book, anything that touched them, maybe something that I said, maybe something that you heard, listened to. I would love to hear from one or two or three of you or more. Anyone care to respond?
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Hi,
Ty.
David.
Hey, Ty.
Hi, everyone. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Great to hear.
How are your parents? How are your parents?
Everybody's good. Everybody's good right now. You know,
You are
good.
blessed. You are blessed.
Thank
Remember
God.
that. Yes, you are.
Praise God. The thing that I've learned from the book is that it's okay to fail. You know, because like growing up around people that may have taken failure as like the last, or like there's no chance to try again, and you know that can affect a person too. You know, that's what I learned. So reading these books that's helping me to learn that it's okay to fail, and that failing is how I learn. It's helping me like as a stepping stone to not be afraid to try doing different things. And if I do fail, that means now I have a way to learn how to do it differently and try something new.
Great. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, thank you so much for that, David.
Ty, was this a worthwhile book, or was it crazy?
Actually, the book to me was interesting. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good read.
Right?
I didn't expect it to be so interesting, you know. I mean, because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of started out slow like the other lady with Ben Franklin, but then like as I heard people making comments, I went back to it again to listen for more. So then I kind of understood that, you know, the man he had his hand in a lot of, you know, he wore a lot of hats. I'll say it like that, and he learned a lot. And even though he went through a lot of failures, he never let it stop him. So that's what I learned the last two books. Thank you, David, for that.
Thank you, Chai. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment?
Yeah. I have
Martha? Yes?
Good evening, everybody.
Hi.
I'm glad to be here with everybody and share the beautiful knowledge we're getting for these books and with David. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful for that. And learn inspire me and learn better English for me because it's my second language. And growing up and growing in different ways. But I have this story for Grant Horn. He have a supermarket in Kentucky. In 1997, it was a big flood in the supermarket. He had the insurance with everything. The insurance, the supermarket with death for all the problems they can have in the business. They didn't insure the supermarket for the flood. So that's mean he lost everything and the insurance didn't cover nothing. And he even had the courage. He wants to come back. He wants to come back to open his supermarket. He take care of his 80 people working for him in the store. And he spent $1 million to reopen the store and taking 21 days to reopen. And he never gave up. He didn't care about the money. He didn't care about the time. He wants to pursue his dream to open his supermarket, either after had this terrible loss. He lost a lot of money. So that's mean courage, persevere, and follow your dreams, is make a commitment to the power to do whatever you want in life. And this is very powerful. For me, it's very powerful.
Very good. And by the way, that story reminds me of a story that John Maxwell mentions in the book in reference to Thomas Edison when he had his plant in Newark, New Jersey, which got burnt down. And as he was being questioned by the media, the media told him, well, now that everything's burned down, how do you feel? He said, this is great. Everything's burned down. Now we can start all over again, all new. They were not expecting that answer from him. So always believe that there's something bigger and better coming that will come about. Always believe. As terrible as situations may come about, we all experience at least one rough, challenging moment in our lives. So believe to achieve. Anyone else want to comment? Thank you, Martha. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anyone else want to comment?
I was going to talk about complacency. Can you hear me, David?
Yep, I hear you.
David?
Loud and clear. Yep.
Okay. I was going to say, I just wanted to talk a quick
Yes.
second about complacency. A lot of times we're comfortable being discomfortable.
Yes.
So you're comfortable being discomfortable. If I'm saying it correctly.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, but yeah, you're comfortable being uncomfortable. Yes.
Uncomfortably comfortable.
Uncomfortably comfortable. Thank you, Reggie. And a lot of people say you have a lot of things. They tell me you have a lot of things going for you. Why are you always striving to do more, learn more, be a part of more? Why don't you just go somewhere and sit down and be content? And my thing is, you're always in the state of arriving. You never actually arrive. So you have to constantly fight complacency. The ability to want to sit back and stay where you are is always more to develop there's always more to seek after. And even when you fail, I actually got to hear John Maxwell speak, and he was telling about the reason that his books are so good is because he's failed at them so many times in the writing of them.
Correct.
And
Correct.
so that's just something I wanted to share with everyone, especially with the day that I had. It seemed like it was a kind of a waste of time, but each moment sharpens, each moment is a preparation to sharpen the next moment. And that's what I wanted to share with the group.
Got it. Great. Thank you, Charles. And that's right. It takes time. We don't know how much time. For everyone's different. So if you try to measure yourself with someone that you might know, and you see that they've reached whatever level that you want to reach, or whatever you may consider success, you can't measure yourself the same way, because you don't know if they put in 20 hours a day in studying or work or whatever it is considered, because study could be considered work. It's an investment of time, but knowledge pays the best price. But you could only be putting 30 minutes of work a day. So guess what? It might take you 20 years in comparison to the person that you're comparing yourself to. So just be aware of that as well. Anyone else want to comment?
They say in the book, making failure to knowledge, into a knowledge.
Say that again.
You failing, make into a knowledge.
Falling
Knowledge.
into knowledge. Falling into knowledge.
To learn something better for you.
Yes. The more you learn, the more you fall into knowledge. Yes. Anyone else? Elmer, Reggie, or let me see who else is on the line. Sharon. Welcome, Sharon. Natasha. Anyone else want to comment?
Well, I think it's such a, he says, well, he talks about the basic stuff, like kind of like, I should know that, but I don't, because we forget. Just the examples that he gives about fear, it's like amazingly simple, but yet, oh yeah, really, who is afraid? Who's judging? Nobody's judging except for yourself. Even the stupid, like, well, I'm thinking about my own mistakes that I made, and then I'm judging myself basically, and all I have to do is just to get out of my own way. And for something stupid that I've done, like in high school, it's really,
Yes,
it's
that's
crazy.
right.
You know?
That's right.
So
That's correct.
So I think he's very brilliant about how he puts things, and puts it in such a way that for everybody to understand. And I liked his examples about Mary Kay and Macy's.
Yes, that's
it's
right.
like amazing, because it's like, I think like we forget those stories. I mean, some of them, I didn't know that Mary Kay, I didn't know where she came from and what she's done before. And the same with Macy. How he began his career and his
Correct.
business. So
Yep, in the store in Boston.
Yeah.
And he wanted to start his own store, and they were reluctant to have him start his own store.
Yeah.
And then he went out and did his own store. I think he was fired, I believe, and then
yeah,
magical things started happening.
So
yeah,
he used John Maxwell used a lot of different examples, which I can't do. I have to listen to it again. But,
correct.
Yeah,
that's right. That is the truth. So, but yeah, I recommend listening to this book. You don't have to listen to it daily, but
so far I could listen to every book over and over again.
Well, some of these books I've read, and I feel so relieved being able to listen to them. As much as I like to read, I'm not a fast reader.
And I'm not either. And I think it's like, it's funny because this group is like amazing, because I've never been like introduced.
You're amazing. Natasha, you're amazing.
No, you're
Martha,
amazing, guys.
Charles, Ty, Reggie,
Everybody's amazing.
Elmer, Sharon, you all are amazing. So,
Because I think
it's not this group, it's you. Okay? So thank
no,
you.
it's you. No, it's you.
So-
No, seriously, I have never been listening to the book before, so this is like really like
You need to develop the habit. So it took me a while. At the beginning, I was like, oh man, I can't do this. And I was like, oh, I gotta get used to it. So just like Charles said, the only way that John Maxwell succeeded was failing a lot of times, writing horrible books. And I'm getting ready to write another one. I'm May 1st. I don't know how, but I'm gonna make time to write 30 minutes a day. I'm gonna get ready to write a book. So I have an outline, and I'm gonna fine tune it. And I've given some of you some tools. You've got to get going. So don't stay behind. Leave a legacy to your kids, to your children, to your, I don't know, to your extended family. All right?
Yeah.
Sounds crazy, but that's how it is. Yep. So anybody else want to comment on this book? No? So we have
sir.
reached the, yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Thank you, Reg. Reg, we have I guess a quote for tomorrow if we'd like to use it. Unless you have one already, but
I sourced them pretty well, though.
you what? Say that again?
I sourced them pretty well.
You do, but I like that one there. But we could
That's
use
a good one, though.
I've stopped doing quotes for a while because I'm doing an experiment, and I'm focusing more on this group. This group leaves me so much more energy, much more power, and I need to do the quotes, but right now I'm doing this book, and this class has been powerful. So I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to let you know that our Thursday courses have been canceled temporarily. I need the time to work on my classes for my stocks. It requires a lot of research, a lot of reading, and even my wife thinks I'm crazy, but yeah, I'm a little bit crazy, as you can all tell. So you're all witnesses that I'm a little bit crazy. So this is it for our Mastermind Book Club. I'm going to post the recording of this group later tonight, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to post a new audio book. Some of these audiobooks are going to be longer, but do the best you can to listen to even part of it. They're very powerful books. And don't be afraid to comment and say, wow, this book is powerful. Thank you for this book.
Which one?
Say something.
Tell us.
Yeah.
I want the preview. Which book is this going to be?
You will have the preview in the morning. I want to leave you with some excitement. So, some suspense in reference to, because I have some really good books coming up, and I know Reggie has some books also he's recommended me. I just don't remember which they are, but I have a few books, even one that I want to go through, but I want to leave it for a moment, because although you didn't notice, I used some of the wording from that book in this year. So just so you're aware. All right, so listen to this book again if in your leisure. I like The Science of Getting Rich, and I will listen to at least an hour to 3 hours, because it's a 3-hour book. So I listen to it quickly on a weekly basis. It's powerful, and thanks to Reggie, I love that book. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you for being part of the Mastermind Book Club. By the way, Ty, you make this club too, because I forgot to mention Ty, I think. You make this group as well. Thank you, everyone. Until next Tuesday, and don't be afraid to say a comment or say something in reference to these books during the week.
I have a comment. David, can I make a comment?
Of course. It's your moment.
The type of books that we read, because I had a name of a book that I wanted to suggest, but it's a long read, and it's I think 3 to 4 hours. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And I think it's by Dale Carnegie, and it's called Conversation with the Devil. You ever heard of that one?
No, I have not. But I will put it on the list. Let me look it up, and maybe that'll be a surprise one of these weeks. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
Is it Conversations or Outwitting the Devil?
I'm sorry?
Conversations or Outwitting?
Outwitting the devil.
Let me
That's
see.
it.
Outwitting the devil, isn't it?
Outwitting the devil. That's it, Reggie. Thank you.
You're
Let me
welcome.
see. Okay, this is by Napoleon Hill, or wait a
Mhm.
minute. Why is it saying Napoleon Hill or Dale
Father
Carnegie?
Son.
Which one?
Oh, wow.
I
I
think
want to read that.
It's Napoleon Hill.
Yeah,
I
I
want
think
to
it's.
read that.
One of the
That's
others.
good.
It's a long read, but it's like what we're doing for audio listeners.
So this
It
is
has,
this is tomorrow's book, but I'll put it in the morning. So when I
Yes.
put it on there,
Thank you.
please, I want to hear your comments. Okay, I want to say thank you. This is a fabulous
Thank you,
book or
thank you,
something.
thank you.
Or
It's
say, David,
good.
you're crazy. How can you have us read about the devil? So
It's okay.
It's-
We're in the
it's not-
devil's
it's-
time.
it's interesting, David, because it's not just about the devil. It's
Don't
about
tell
the
us.
questions
Don't
that's
tell
being
us.
asked. No, I won't
Don't tell
spill
us.
the beans.
don't tell us.
Interesting read. Okay. Okay.
Don't ruin it. All right.
Thank you
So
so much. Thank you.
That's awesome.
thank you.
Everyone.
Everybody.
Ty. This is our book tomorrow. I see there's another one, A Conversation with the Devil. So they look very
Okay.
similar. Oh no, they're the same books. They just renamed it so that it won't get erased.
Oh,
People.
okay.
And I see there's another longer version, so I don't know which is correct. So I've got to figure this out. I'll figure it out. All right. So that's the book. Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Good night.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.